We are just shy of 7:59 on your foggy Wednesday morning drive. A live look at the cameras behind me, and this is pretty representative of most of the metro area, at least down low. We've got a really foggy and increasingly slow commute. Right now, the drive from Clark County thick on I-5. It's just shy of 30 minutes to get you in from Main Street to the Fremont Bridge, and right around that as well to get you in from Hillsborough on Highway 26. Rod?
Well, it is still quite foggy in spots. I do want to let you know the coast is gorgeous. Good morning to those of you watching us from Lincoln City. Here's our Snookwinds Casino Resort camera. Partly cloudy skies, but quite lovely. And here is the lack of visibility coming into the flats of the I-5 corridor. Downtown Portland can barely make out I-5. You can't see across the river to the downtown cityscape at all. Temperature is 34 degrees. Also very foggy down in Salem. So we have an impact alert that we've extended through 9 a.m. this morning. Eventually sun is coming. We'll warm up into the 40s and perhaps reach a high temperature of 50. The 7-day forecast is dry.
Now 8 o'clock, two girls believed to be taken by their mother have been found this morning. What's next in the investigation? Plus,
members of Congress and my fellow Americans, our nation is back, bigger, better, richer, and stronger than ever before.
And President Donald Trump holding his first official State of the Union address during his second term, what some local lawmakers were doing instead of attending the president's address ahead.
And later, a shocking surprise for an Ohio sanitation worker who opened a trash bin only to find a person hiding inside. We have that story coming up in just 15 minutes as your news at sunrise, streaming live on KGW Plus, starts right now. Good morning, and thank you for joining us live at 8 o'clock. I'm China Green.
And I'm Matthew Herchick. Glad to have you with us on this Wednesday. Rod Hill, Chris McGinnis, standing by with a look at the weather and traffic. Good morning, Rod.
Yeah, good morning. You can see the fog. Chris is going to be coming up here shortly. You can see the fog on one of his cameras. We have the impact alert now up until 9 o'clock this morning for reduced visibility, meaning you need extra distance between yourself and the car ahead of you, and perhaps some extra time. And we still are reporting some 32-degree spots, which means there could be some unexpected icy spots. So use caution going around corners and bridges and that type of thing as well. Well, the sun is up, but you cannot see the state capitol. That's the road in front of the mall there from Salem, 38 degrees. And here's downtown Portland, still very foggy. In fact, our building, KGW, is next to Lincoln High School. And if I look out toward downtown Portland, I can't see the buildings at all. So it's really foggy. 34 is the number. Eventually, this fog, with all that said, is fairly shallow. It does not extend vertically up very high. So we will be losing it. We'll get the sun, 44 degrees at noon, and could get up to about 50 for a high. All right, here is Chris.
That'll look really nice. Contrast that with this right now. It's foggy and it's slow out there. There's I-5 up near the Interstate Bridge at SR 14. Your trip out of Clark County, nearly 30 minutes southbound from Main Street to the Fremont Bridge. And I-205, no picnic either. It's quite foggy over the Glen Jackson Bridge. Also, let's take you down to the south into the Gladstone area. I-205 southbound running pretty thick from here all the way down to the Abernathy Bridge. Our speed sensors show maybe 16, 18 miles an hour there. The trip from Clackamas south to Tualatin running along at about 22 minutes. And elsewhere, there's a look at the Banfield, westbound I-84 out near Providence Medical Center. That's slow. There's Highway 26 out near Bethany. Again, the inbound drive really slow there as well. At last check, you're tripping from Hillsborough, holding steady between about 26 and 28 minutes. China, Matthew, back to you.
Thank you, Chris. New this morning, the Multnomah County Sheriff's Office says two young sisters reported missing have now been found safe. We told you last night at 11 that the Sheriff's Office issued an Amber Alert.
And earlier this morning, the children were found in Gresham. Investigators found them unharmed around 2:30 this morning on Northeast Sacramento Street, along with their mother, 37-year-old Anne Marie Quarles. Now, the Multnomah County Sheriff's Office says the girls were initially reported missing after they were not returned to their father following a scheduled visit earlier this month. Deputies started looking for the children, concerned for their safety, after determining the situation involved a violation of a custody order. After requesting an Amber Alert, the Sheriff's Office says they were informed the circumstances did not meet the criteria for one, according to the Oregon State Police, which manages the state's Amber Alert system. Investigators say the case will now be forwarded to the district attorney's office as they complete their investigation.
In Clackamas County, a murder trial is underway for a man accused of killing his wife near their Welch's home in 2024.
Earlier this month, Michael Fournier was expected to take a plea deal, but chose to go to trial instead. Sunrise reporter Corey Johnson joins us live with how opening statements went. Corey.
Good morning, Matthew. China, in opening statements, the state showed evidence of Fournier driving through Sandy on the day his estranged wife, Susan Phoenix Lane Fournier, went missing. Now, prosecutors also say Fournier's 12-year marriage was ending and that he was served divorce papers just 2 days before Susan went missing. The defense, who only spoke briefly, wanted the jury to know there will be a lot of evidence to go through to prove Fournier's innocence.
Asking you to keep an open mind. When you hear this evidence, it's important that you continue to pay attention no matter how long this case goes on, no matter how hard the evidence may be to succeed, and really hold the state to their burden.
Now, Susan had 2 dogs that Fournier is suspected of killing. He also faces animal abuse charges in Multnomah County, although those charges are not a part of this particular trial. This trial is expected to get underway in less than an hour at 9 a.m., and it's expected to last for at least 2 weeks. Matthew, China.
Corey, thank you. In developing this morning, authorities in Gig Harbor, Washington, northwest of Tacoma, say a man stabbed 4 people to death before a deputy killed him yesterday. The Pierce County Sheriff's Office received a call about a no-contact order violation. Deputies learned that the order had not even been served and were heading to serve the suspect. While en route, a second 911 call reported a man stabbing people at that same location. 3 minutes later, a deputy arrived, saw the attack, and shot the suspect. 3 victims died at the scene, and a 4th died at the hospital. Court records show a history of violence at that home, including a mother repeatedly seeking protection from her adult son. One order last April quoted the son saying her grave has already been dug. That temporary order lasted about 2 weeks. And because there is a protection order involved here, there is a significant chance that this was a domestic violence case. So if you or someone you know is experiencing domestic violence and need help or support, the National Domestic Violence Hotline is available 24 hours a day. You can call the number there on your screen, 1-800-799-7233. All calls are confidential. 5 teens are facing charges in connection with the killing of a man during a November burglary in Portland's Lentz neighborhood. This is a look at that man. Police say that the teens invaded Kevin Cooper's home and shot him in front of his family. Cooper died weeks later. His family says that he was a grandfather, minister at his local church, and a man devoted to his family. Each of the teens faces slightly different charges, ranging from first-degree murder to assault and unlawful use of a weapon.
Authorities have cited a Salem-Keizer school bus driver for making an unsafe left turn that ultimately resulted in a crash that killed another driver. This was in West Salem on Highway 22 around 10 o'clock Monday morning. State police say the bus driver attempted that left turn onto southbound Highway 51 and caused a head-on collision with an SUV. The driver of the SUV died at the scene. Around 60 school students were on the bus for a field trip. One of those students and the bus driver were taken to the hospital with minor injuries. And last night, President Donald Trump gave the longest State of the Union address in American history, clocking in at 1 hour and 47 minutes.
President Trump declared the nation has entered a golden age of America. NBC's Tracy Wilkins has a recap.
As President Trump addressed members of Congress for the second year of his second term.
Our nation is back, bigger, better, richer, and stronger than ever before.
Divisions between the two parties were evident, especially on issues like the state of the economy.
They caused and created the increased prices that all of our citizens had to endure. You caused that problem. You caused that problem.
The president boasted a stronger economy, one of the many issues more than half of Americans believe he's failing on, according to recent polling. Trump also made his case on his tariffs in front of the Supreme Court justices who recently ruled limiting his ability to levy them.
But the good news is that almost all countries and corporations want to keep the deal that they already made.
The president touted ending wars while promising he will not allow Iran to pursue a nuclear weapon.
I will never allow the world's #1 sponsor of terror, which they are by far, to have a nuclear weapon.
Several Democrats boycotted the speech, while some who were there at times shouted in protest. Especially apparent when the president accused Democrats of supporting sanctuary cities and not his immigration policies.
They're blocking the removal of these people out of our country, and you should be ashamed of yourself.
It was a point Virginia Governor Abigail Spanberger addressed in the Democratic response.
Our president has sent poorly trained federal agents into our cities, where they have arrested and detained American citizens and people who aspire to be Americans, and they have done it without a warrant.
Spanberger also countered questioning if Americans are the ones who are benefiting most from the president's policies.
The scale of the corruption is unprecedented.
In Washington, Tracy Wilkins, NBC News.
Meanwhile, many Oregon congressional delegates skipped the State of the Union address.
Just 3 attended the speech. Others held town halls or attended protest events. Sunrise reporter Thomas Schultz joins us now. So Thomas, why did so many local lawmakers decide to skip this speech?
Yeah, well, guys, some, like Suzanne Bonamici, says she skipped because she didn't want to hear the president lie, demonize immigrants, and threaten democracy. Instead, she held a town hall, telephone town hall that is. Senators Ron Wyden and Jeff Merkley also skipped the State of the Union and instead took calls from constituents.
When you're done with the exaggerations, when you've heard all the untruths, you're still not getting anything that resembles our state.
The senators instead answered questions about tariffs, the Epstein files, immigration, and more. Some concerned citizens did make the trip to Washington, D.C. to attend a rebuttal to President Trump's speech called the State of the Swamp. They showed up in frog suits, which had become popular outside Portland's ICE facility. Representative Maxine Dexter was in attendance for that. Here's what she had to say.
Joy is resistance. Creativity is resistance. Community is resistance.
Now, one of the 3 Oregon congressional delegates to attend was Janelle Bynum, though she says that the speech was, quote, more of the divisive BS. I can't say I'm surprised. Matthew, China.
Thomas, thank you. So we all know and love Punch the monkey, and now the Portland Pickles are throwing their support behind the little guy, posting these pictures on their social media, replacing Punch's stuffed monkey with Dylan T. Pickle, along with the caption, "Punch just needs a friend." And for those who are unfamiliar, Punch lives at a zoo in Japan and has gone viral for his love of his monkey plushie. And Punch has been seen carrying it around his enclosure and sleeping with it, cuddling with it. Other videos have also shown other monkeys shoving and bullying Punch, leaving him only his emotional support plushie as comfort. And apparently the president and chief sustainability officer at IKEA Japan donated multiple replacements of Punch's toy as well as new plushies for him.
Punch. You think they're bullying him because of his plushie? They're like, what do you need a plushie for?
I think he just doesn't have a mom around to kind of like introduce him to the
Has somebody given him a bath yet?
I vote as tribute. I'll give him a bath. I would love to give him a bath.
He is very
Call
cute.
me.
It is a touching story.
Yes.
Come on, Rod. He's cute. You got
It's a touching story, yes.
He's cute. Just say it. It's okay.
Here's a look at our KGW weather impact alert for dense fog. And we'll start off with the visibility map. It's important to note when you lose the fog, it's basically clear. So still, and this is not budged, still a 1/10 of a mile of visibility crossing the Columbia River, still 0 visibility, which means you can barely see your hand in front of your face, Scappoose and Hillsboro. McMinnville has improved a touch. It's 0 visibility in Salem, so that is no improvement whatsoever. But as you start getting up in elevation, if you're driving into the coast, you'll quickly find clear skies for your drive. If you're driving up into the Cascades, you'll quickly find clear skies for your drive. And out into the gorge, you will quickly find clear skies this morning as well. And basically, when you get up in elevation, period, the cameras continue to show that the fog we have, which is dense, is actually quite shallow, meaning vertically in elevation, you quickly run out of it. Here's the Salem tasting room in Sherwood, 32 degrees. 35 in Battleground. Hillsboro still 31 with that dense fog out there. Troutdale is up to 35. Salem's holding 38. And Dallas is at 37 degrees this morning. There's not much of any wind. The wind direction is from the west. Sun is coming. And I think it will come this morning. Temperatures will warm to about 50, 51, 52 Coast Valley, also over in Bend and Madras. And it is a dry day, except for maybe a spotty shower popping this afternoon over some of the mountainous areas. 7-day forecast, speaking of dry, is now all dry, just like that. 50 today, 53 tomorrow, mid-50s for the weekend with mostly sunny skies. Yeah, Chris, I'm looking out my window and I still can't see a whole lot of anything.
Sounds about right. That jives with what we're seeing on our traffic cameras here. I mean, it's pretty thick on the fog over in the Glen Jackson Bridge. That's that camera right there on the upper left-hand part of your screen. I-5 from Clark County, slow and steady from Mill Plain. Right now, that's a 23-minute ride in from Main Street to the Fremont Bridge. We'll take a quick zoom over to the west side. Here's 217 over near Allen Boulevard. That northbound commute moving along at about 18 miles an hour or so. The trip between the interchanges, 14 minutes. Not bad, but slow enough. And last but not least, I mean, that is stop and go right now on the Banfield. That's I-84 right near the I-205 interchange. So there's the exit to Halsey, and you can see that westbound commute, again, inbound running really thick. At last check, the trip in from Troutdale just shy of 30 minutes.
Thank you, Chris.
What we need are secure chips in these cards, and I'm determined because it's long overdue to get them in there.
Senator Ron Wyden is cracking down on EBT scams by pushing a new bill that would require all food assistance cards to have a chip. Why he says something so simple makes all the difference in protecting Oregonians.
I'm Matthew Herchick, new morning anchor at KGW. I'm a huge sports fan, and I know I might be from the Buckeye State, but I'm excited to explore what the Rose City has to offer. I want to make sure you're prepared for the day, whether it's bringing you breaking news or sharing those inspirational stories that make you smile. We've got you covered. Because when news moves fast, you need a team that moves with you. Make the move to Portland's #1 streaming newscast, Sunrise, weekday mornings from 5 to 9, anywhere you watch.
We have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yeah.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW+.
Who knew this morning a man has been arrested in connection with the death of a woman whose body was found in the woods in Clark County.
Deputies responded on February 14th to state forest land near the DNR 1100 road in eastern Clark County. Detectives identified the victim as 34-year-old Tori Garza, who previously went by Victoria Mills. Investigators tracked her recent activity through cell phone data and surveillance video yesterday. Deputies served a search warrant in the Woodland area and took 66-year-old Andrew Brunette into custody. He was booked into jail for first-degree murder, patronizing a prostitute, and unlawful disposal of human remains.
But take a look at this crazy video out of Ohio. A sanitation worker there got quite the scare when they opened a trash bin to find a person inside. A police cruiser happened to be right behind the garbage truck and caught the moment on their dash cam. And when the person spotted police, they made a run for it. Police nicknamed the suspect Oscar the Grouch in a post online and say that he had run from a traffic stop. Eventually, an officer chased him down and arrested him. Yeah.
I'm not trying to get people's garbage all over my face and in my fingernails for a traffic stop.
No.
Really?
No.
Could have been worse for him, though, like you pointed out earlier.
Yeah, I could have been squished in the garbage truck.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yes. That's right.
The compactor on wheels.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Still really foggy outside. I do have one spot that's improving, and I'll get to that. KGW weather impact alert now up until 9 o'clock this morning for the reduced visibility of the fog and the hazard that can bring. Obviously, it's easier to, in my opinion, to drive through fog during the day than it is at night. I thought it was really bad coming in from Clark County at about, 3:30 this morning. Here's a look at our cloud flood. Let me start there and I'll get back to the fog. This is the fetch of moisture that gave us the rain Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. It has now dropped to our south and our rain chances are over. Up here is the front that I've been tracking coming in Thursday into Thursday night. It still looks like this front will hover along the Canadian border, and models continue to be insistent that the rain with this will stay to our north, maybe as far south as about Seattle. So we're kind of in the middle, what we call split flow. One weather flow to the north, one weather flow down to the south. And again, if we lose the fog, what you get from this satellite picture here, I should say when we lose the fog, is that we'll have a beautiful sunny day upcoming. Here's what Futurecast shows with that front coming in Thursday night. So this is Thursday at 6 in the evening. You can show cloudiness up in Washington, some showers around Seattle, and maybe a nip of some shower activity around Astoria or Long Beach. Doesn't give us any moisture in Portland, maybe a trace in southwest Washington. It does dive some cloudiness into our area Friday morning, but that would be lifting out of here, and we'll have a dry weekend with mostly sunny skies to follow. So that's it, really. I'm not looking at much. The dense fog impact alert up through 9 o'clock at this point this morning. Low visibility, potential slick spots, extra distance and time all needed. You get above the fog and this is what we have. So when we lose it, it's really going to be a beautiful day. Here's Timberline Lodge. Of course, a lot of still new snow up there, we'll call it. 21 degrees is the temperature. And here's the first camera that's been foggy all morning to show improved visibility. This is down in Salem, obviously. It's the first time this morning we have had any eyes on the state capitol whatsoever. So that's actually a big improvement, 38 degrees. So far, the cameras looking at Portland have not seen anything but the dense fog covering up the city. 34 out of PDX, 44 out in the Dalles, where it's a beautiful sunny morning, by the way, for you folks. Our valley forecast today, we're looking at sunshine after the fog, and that'll get us up into the 53, 54 degree range. Similar numbers, or at least low 50s in southwest Washington. I've got Portland at 50 today. 53 Thursday, the cloudiness we showed you going into Friday morning, but a nice weekend and all dry into Tuesday of next week. Here's Chris.
Imagine this, you're hopping on the freeway in Hillsborough and you can't see because it's so foggy, and then you get to Cedar Hills Boulevard or to the Sylvan Hill and you're blinded with the sun. So yeah, some eye strain out there for sure. There's the I-5 Clark County commute, still slow and steady southbound from SR 14 in the fog. 23 minutes gets you from Main Street to the Fremont Bridge. The drive in from Hillsborough, by the way, on Highway 26, just shy of 30 minutes. A reminder, both today and tomorrow, the Morrison Bridge undergoing annual bridge inspection. The county will be doing multiple bridge lifts lasting upwards of 15 to 20 minutes a pop. So if that's part of your commute both today and tomorrow, obviously expect some delays. Guys, the Morrison Bridge, of course, connects downtown Portland to I-5 as well. So there could be some residual delays on I-5 during those times of those bridge lifts. So be on the lookout for those. Matthew, back to you.
Okay, thank you, Chris. Well, keeping much needed money in families' pockets, that's the hope an Oregon senator has as he prepares to introduce a new bill today aimed at fighting EBT fraud.
Hi, I'm Christine Padawanich. I'm a journalist at KGW, and I love exploring Portland's amazing food scene. New spot? I'm there. So I don't just report about our community, I belong to it. What happens here affects us all, and that's why we care so deeply about getting it right. And when local journalism is done right, it doesn't sit still, it moves. It moves you to act, to vote, to volunteer, to speak up, or to lend a hand. It moves your mind by challenging assumptions and offering new perspectives. It moves you forward by giving you the information to make decisions and thrive where you live. And yes, it moves your heart through the good stuff that stays with you wherever you are. And at KGW, we're here for all of it. These are the stories that move Portland.
Today, Senator Ron Wyden is expected to formally introduce a bill that would require states to upgrade SNAP cards with modern chip technology.
Our investigative team has been covering this story for years, with Oregon families going to the grocery store only to find out that their SNAP benefits have been wiped by scammers. Investigative reporter Kyle Aboshi has the update.
The problem? Low-income families getting ripped off by crooks, stealing their food stamp or SNAP benefits. The proposed solution? Federal legislation to crack down on that fraud.
Taxpayers are getting ripped off, and individuals, particularly poor people, are getting ripped off.
Senator Ron Wyden plans to introduce legislation this week that would require states to upgrade food assistance cards with smart chip technology. Currently, Oregon Trail cards don't have a chip, making them ripe for fraud.
What we need are secure chips in these cards, and I'm determined, because it's long overdue, to get them in there.
Crooks often skim EBT by secretly attaching a small device to a checkout machine that sends card numbers and PINs back to the thieves, who then create fake cards and drain accounts.
To take from people that are already struggling, it's a certain kind of evil.
Over the past 3 years, KGW has reported on low-income Oregonians who had their food stamp benefits stolen.
I know there is money in there.
We rely on those food benefits to eat.
My money was gone.
In November alone, there were 440 thefts involving Oregon Trail cards, according to the Oregon Department of Human Services, totaling more than $91,000 in stolen benefits. Under the proposed legislation, states would receive federal funding and be required to begin issuing chip-enabled cards within 2 years. Kyle Aboshi, KGW News.
Parents are pushing back on a bill that would have changed the system currently used to determine how much money schools need. Why the bill's sponsor says it would have been a big step towards improving student outcomes. Also coming up at 8:30, a former children's clinic accountant is accused of embezzling $500,000, but her case could soon be dismissed. Why this case points to a larger issue in Oregon's public defender crisis.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus.
I'm Trina Green, a morning anchor at KGW and new dog mom to this sweet guy. Meet Barry. I love getting your mornings off to a great start, whether it's sharing stories of resilience and triumph in our community,
or following breaking news from Beaverton to Gresham and everywhere in between.
We've got you covered, because when news moves fast, you need a team that moves with you. Make the move to KGW Sunrise, weekday mornings from 5 to 9, anywhere you watch.
Good morning, I'm China Green. Overnight, 2 children were found safe in Gresham after authorities say that their mother took off with them, even though she doesn't have custody. The Multnomah County Sheriff's Office says all 3 were found on Northeast Sacramento Street around 2:30 this morning. They say neither child appeared to be injured. The case is set to be forwarded to the District Attorney's Office. Headed over to Rod Hill for a look at your weather now.
Well, it depends on where you are. If you're at the coast watching us this morning, what a fabulous morning that you have underway. Partly cloudy skies from our Snoqualmie Casino Resort camera in Lincoln City. A bit chilly, 38 degrees. Here is the fog that is still dense. In fact, you cannot see across the Willamette from I-5, the Rose City camera. The airport 34, also dense fog out across the Columbia. So we do have a KGW impact alert up at this point through at least 9 o'clock this morning through the heart of the commute for the reduced visibility coming into town. 44 at noon, we'll have sunshine then, and this does turn out to be a lovely afternoon with partly to mostly sunny skies and a high of 50. Notice the 7-day is now all dry through the weekend.
Well, good morning. Mr. Clean says he's retiring. What? That is according to the brand's social media posts. He says that he's earned time off after more than 60 years of representing his namesake brand. The packaging for Mr. Clean products will stay the same. The company says the retirement is tied to an upcoming announcement. So
as long as we keep those dry erasers, man, those things are gold.
I remember when they first came out.
I've heard that. I've never used them, but I've heard that they are
iconic.
Our kids necessitate their use all over the house.
Yeah,
So
I
yes.
can imagine. All right. Well,
Mr. Clean. You guys are probably too young to remember Mr. Whipple, the guy who squeezed the Charmin toilet paper. Anybody? Nobody? No. Okay, boy, am I old. Here's a look at our... If you're 95 or older and watching us, you know what I'm talking about. Here's our dense fog KGW weather impact alert that's up. Early morning expires at 9 o'clock at this point. We certainly have horrible visibility coming into downtown Portland, also up along the Columbia River. Our camera in front of Salem is showing improved visibility, but extra time. This is shallow fog. It's only being reported at low elevations. You bump up in the hills a little bit and you run out of it. So all morning we couldn't see the state capitol. Now you can. So that's at least improving. It's 38 degrees. All morning we have not been able to see downtown Portland, and we still can't. Maybe this is a little better along I-5, but that's what you're coming into if you're getting ready to commute into the city center of Roses. Temperature outside 34 degrees. The impact alert up until 9 o'clock. At that time, the heart of the commute is over, and we will see improving conditions during the morning. Sun's coming 44 at noon. I have us getting up to about 50 for a high. Minus the chance of a spotty shower popping at some point today over the mountains. This is now a dry forecast. All areas. Afternoon temps 50 in Tillamook, 51 Salem, Portland, Madras 49, 47 out in Baker City. Winds are from the west. They have been bouncing to about 25 this morning into Hood River, but most of us have light winds. 50 today, 53 tomorrow, 51 Friday. Some morning cloudiness Friday from a system that's passing up to our north. Weekend looks great. 54 Saturday, 56 degrees on Sunday. Wow. Here's Chris.
Rod, to your point about how shallow that fog is, these two cameras here are the highest freeway cameras that we have in Portland. So this is I-5 at Capitol Highway up at like 650 feet, and you can see the fog plainly clearing there. That said, those drivers are all heading back down into the fog. Meanwhile, here at the Sylvan Hill, this is up at 750 feet or so, and again, those drivers peeking out of the fog. All right, down low, though, it is still quite thick and quite slow on the I-5 drive. 24 minutes gets you in from Main Street to the Fremont Bridge. Over on the east side through the Lentz neighborhood, this is I-205 near Foster. That northbound commute could still use some help. Right now, the trip from Clackamas north to the Banfield averaging about 15 minutes. Guys, back to you.
Chris, thank you. Turning now to developments out of the Oregon legislative session, where the Oregon Senate passed a bill aimed at limiting how federal immigration officers operate inside hospitals.
Yeah, supporters say it's designed to protect patient privacy and ensure that people can seek care without fear. Corey Johnson explains what that all means.
Well, supporters of the legislation say it comes after recent ICE activity across the state, specifically arrests connected to people seeking care at local hospitals. And this includes a family who was detained at Adventist Health recently as they were trying to get medical care for their 7-year-old daughter. Now, Senate Bill 1570, known as the Healthcare Without Fear Act, requires hospitals to create clear policies for interactions with law enforcement and designate a staff member to handle those situations. regulations. The bill would also require federal immigration officers to follow the same standards as local law enforcement when they enter into state hospitals. The bill also classifies immigration status and place of birth as protected healthcare information and requires hospitals to mark public and private areas unless officers have a search warrant. Now, last month, we spoke with local nurses who say the legislation is necessary.
They do not wear proper identification. They present in clinical areas where they should not be. Many of us have felt powerless in these moments, unable to adequately advocate for patient privacy.
Now, following that Senate vote, the bill now heads to the Oregon House Committee on Health Care, where lawmakers will decide whether it will advance forward. Back to you.
A bill moving through the legislature, meantime, would require public schools and universities to notify students, families, and staff and federal immigration agents are on or near campus. The bill's chief sponsor says the goal is to reduce fear and confusion and to have at least one school official trained to identify and verify judicial warrants. Opponents of the bill say that schools already have emergency alert systems and don't need this requirement, and others who submitted testimony say it's not the school's job to interfere with federal officers. A bill to change how education is funded in Oregon appears to be dead after heavy pushback from parents.
The bill was proposed as Oregon schools continue to say they're underfunded and students are falling way behind national averages. Thomas Schultz has the story.
Parents say this bill missed nuance of the education system and would have harmed vulnerable students. It also would have been a really big change for funding in Oregon schools, which for more than a quarter century have relied on something called the quality education model. Though for years, parents and administrators have argued that the amount of funding that the legislature is actually approving is far less than the quality education model says they should receive, sometimes by billions of dollars. This bill, sponsored by State Senator Janine Solomon, would have changed the whole approach by doing three things. First, put neutral experts in charge of calculating the cost of education. Second, account for different costs in rural education, for schools in denser population areas. And third, create stable, predictable funding, which makes it easier for school districts to determine how much funding they should expect. The bill came as Oregon students lag nationally in math and reading. In a meeting earlier this month, Solomon says this bill would have been a big step toward improving student outcomes.
We cannot keep doing the same thing and expecting different results.
But there's a whole lot of people who are not for this plan. We spoke to one parent. Here's why he says he was against it.
It focuses just on the average student, and we know that we have many students with disabilities, students that are English learners and new to the country. Students of color often do a lot worse than the average student, and this bill doesn't acknowledge that.
The last work session for that bill was on February 12th, and a representative for Senator Solomon's office tells us that they are no longer looking forward with moving forward on this bill, meaning the system will remain intact, where Oregon schools say they've long been underfunded. In Portland, Thomas Schultz, KGW News.
It's been a really big blow for us and for the community that we serve.
A Hillsborough Children's Clinic is frustrated that an employee accused of embezzling $500,000 could have their case dismissed. Earlier this month, the Oregon Supreme Court ruled that a defendant's case must be dismissed if they go without a lawyer for 90 days.
Oregon has faced a public defender shortage for years, and now nearly 1,500 cases are slated to be dismissed because that deadline isn't being met. In this case, a former clinic accountant faced more than a dozen felony charges for embezzling funds that the clinic says were meant for children.
So essentially, this was an undefensible case that no attorney has picked up. And because no attorney has picked it up, us victims are left out without any justice.
And it's not just about, sticking it to her, this person who did this terrible thing to us and to our community, but it's about keeping everybody safe.
A dismissal doesn't end the case. Prosecutors say that they plan to refile charges, but that takes time, leaving the children's clinic and other victims in limbo.
The House has taken up a bill that would move a referendum on increasing taxes from the November ballot to the May ballot. During a special session last fall, legislators passed a package to balance ODOT's budget, but soon after, a Republican-backed petition gathered enough signatures to let voters decide. Meantime, Oregon Governor Tina Kotek says she's confident the bill will pass the House. She's also indicated that there's a compromise when it comes to funding ODOT, with tough choices being made to keep basic services going.
The way the $300 million budget hole has been addressed is taking additional vacancies, which will have impact on the agency. We're not laying folks off, but there will be additional vacancies that will be taken to meet the budget hole, and that will, over time affect the efficiency of the agency. But we want to take some more vacancies, and we're taking dollars from other projects that have not yet begun.
Specifics on the cuts have not yet been made public.
So if you've been wondering why gas prices in the Northwest have jumped, well, it's because of a temporary shutdown at the Olympic pipeline for the second time in just a few months. The pipeline shut down for maintenance a week ago and reopened Thursday. AAA reporting Oregon gas prices have gone up 22 cents in the last week to $3.92 per gallon on average. It's $4.35 in Washington compared to the national average of $2.97. AAA says that geopolitical tensions between the U.S. and Iran are also putting pressure on gas prices.
It is 8:39. Time to head over to Chris for a look at the traffic.
Let's take you to the Hawthorne Bridge, guys. You may have heard last night that the bridge was closed for a while because of a mechanical issue. I wanted to show you right there, proof it has reopened. But man, you can barely make out the river in the background, right? I mean, it's still socked in with fog. Speaking of bridges, the Morrison Bridge, both today and tomorrow, will be undergoing annual inspection. Multnomah County, which of course maintains the bridge, will be having to lift the bridge several times today and tomorrow. Those bridge lift durations 15 to 20 minutes, so expect some delays if that's part of your commute. All right, right now the fog's starting to lift in a couple of places. I-5 near Capitol Highway, one of those spots. Drivers now dealing with sun glare. So you've either got thick fog or sun glare to deal with early on this, well, not so early now, on this Wednesday morning. The inbound Sunset right now just shy of 30 minutes to get you in from Hillsborough, and the drive across the Columbia. Both are a little slow. 30 minutes or just shy of that is your I-5 drive, Main Street to the Fremont Bridge. Matthew?
Chris, thank you. Millions in the Northeast still grappling with the aftermath of a massive snowstorm brought earlier this week. We take a look at the latest conditions after the break.
Hey everybody, here at ShopTVDeals.com, we love to bring you products that we ourselves love and have used, and today I got a great example. I'm going to show you this series of weighted blankets by the company 3P Experts. So listen to me clearly here. If you feel yourself dealing with anxiety or stress or tension, let me tell you the difference that this blanket can make. The weight is spread evenly throughout the entire blanket, which means it's even on your entire body. It almost feels like someone's giving you a hug. So you feel instantly less tension, less anxiety. It can help with all of those issues. Whether you're using it on the bed, right here on a couch like this one, or in your favorite chair, there's a sense of calm that this thing really gives you. And for the lighter weights of the blanket, even good for travel. If you travel with a certain level of anxiety, great to bring on the plane. So these weighted blankets come in the 4 colors that you see right here and in 4 different weights. 5, 7, 10, or 15 pounds. Pick what works for you. And again, incredibly comfortable here. A soft material, also machine washable, breathable, so you can use this thing in the summer, of course, as well as in the winter. So not only do we have just incredible comfort here and stress reduction, which feels so nice, we also have a great deal for you as well. You get all these blankets for up to 59% off. So that is a really, really good deal there. Check us out at the QR code or at ShopTVDeals.com.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus.
Millions across the northeastern U.S. continue to recover from this week's blizzard.
Yeah, severe winter weather knocked out power and nearly brought air travel to a halt earlier this week. NBC's Emily Ikeda is in New Jersey with the latest.
Hey there, well, the folks here in Hoboken and across so much of the Northeast still digging out. You can see this car behind me buried in more than 20 inches of snow, and now we're getting more of it. You can see it landing on my jacket. It's in my hair. Now, it's not nearly as much as we saw from that blizzard earlier this week, but it doesn't take much to create chaos when some of the roads and streets and sidewalks are already messy. We're also keeping a close eye on power outages that are lingering. Some people in the dark for several days now in these frigid temperatures, especially in hard-hit Massachusetts. More than 100,000 still without power. They have brought in crews from out of state, from even Canada, to restore power as flight disruptions continue to linger. Now, we are seeing a notable improvement from the last couple of days. More than 11,000 flight cancellations since Sunday, but a sign today that the airlines are getting back on track. Certainly relief for passengers who have been stranded for several days. I'll send it back to you.
8:46, headed over to Rod, who is on the roof. Rod, they're going to be clearing out from that for a while now.
Yes. Remember, lots of reporting sites had a good solid 2 feet. Some had more. So good grief. That's a process. I'm up here on the KGW weather deck, brought to you by Rick's Custom Fencing and Decking. And I would say we're starting to poke the bear. The bear is the fog. And I think the fog is getting ready to start lifting. You can see the sun behind me if you look up. This again is a shallow layer of fog. We've been talking about that. And it just feels like, I bet you by 10 o'clock this morning, it's gone. Not too chilly because you don't really have much of any breeze up here. Let's get you to the satellite picture and I'll take you through the pattern, which is now dry, by the way. See that fetch of moisture coming up into California and Southern Oregon? That's what we were in Saturday, Sunday, Monday for the record rain, and also yesterday. That has now dropped to the south. You can see the cloudiness to our north, that elongated stretch. That's a front that will come in Thursday night. Models show we stay dry, minus some traces of rain in southwest Washington, Astoria, and some cloud cover into Friday morning into Portland. That's it. That's the only thing we're watching. And you can tell on the satellite that we don't have anything going on over Portland, Salem, and Vancouver or out east except for the morning fog we have in spots. Meaning once we lose the fog, we'll just be looking at a beautiful sunny day. The visibility map is still pretty socked in. This was at the top of the hour, 1/4 mile in Troutdale and also up in Scappoose. Dense fog crossing both bridges, Glen Jackson and Interstate, and basically fog or reduced visibility being reported all the way down into Salem. But again, we are now seeing improvement. You could not see the Capitol until about, 20, 30 minutes ago. We started to get improving visibility looking at our beautiful Capitol down in Salem. So that has improved drastically. It's 38 degrees. Now, coming into Portland, I think I have, the Rose City camera. And you still, from I-5 looking across the Willamette to the west at the city center, could not see anything, 34 degrees. But I'm telling you, I can see the sun trying to come down and break through the top of this fog, which is fairly shallow, so it should be getting out of here. You get up in elevation and you can be looking out over the fog from the Chehalem tasting room down in Sherwood. 35. It's a chilly morning, no doubt. 30s up in Kelso, Astoria 34. We've got 44 this morning out in the Dalles. It is basically sunny out through the gorge. Our valley forecast with sunshine coming. We'll look at temperatures bouncing up into the 50s. Similar numbers up in the southwest Washington. Wind direction is west-northwest, 5 to 15. And here's our 7-day forecast. And again, it's all dry, so sun is coming. I bet you the fog is mostly gone in Portland anyway by 10 o'clock this morning, as I mentioned. The weekend, sunshine, mid-50s both days. It is birthday time. All right, let's start off with Jacob, who is 8 today. Happy birthday to you. Like space, it looks like, with the NASA t-shirt on there. Nathan holding a chicken, 8 years old. Happy birthday. And now a teenager is Simaya. Happy birthday to you. Hope you have a wonderful day today. And Courtney is celebrating 57 years young today. Happy birthday to you. Hope you have a fun day as well. That's our list. Birthdays at KGW.com. And we will celebrate with you. Here is Chris McGinnis.
Well, Rod, it looks like you've got two choices out there, fog or sun glare. Pick your poison, right? At the Sylvan Hill right now, it's sun glare. To Rod's point about how shallow that fog deck is, I mean, we're up at 750 feet here, and the drive there is through the fog. So obviously it's bright and sunny up top. I-5 near Capitol Highway, one of the other high points in the on the freeway system. This is up at a little over 600 feet. Drivers kind of coming up out of the fog and then back into it as they go into the Twilliger curves. The trip over on the east side, that's I-205 near Foster, that's still running a little thick. And right now, at last check, your drive in from Troutdale right now holding at about 30 minutes or so. That's westbound I-84 from the Sandy River Bridge to the I-5 split. We'll be right back.
I'm David Mulco, the evening anchor at KGW. Though when I'm not working, I like to spend as much time as possible out here in nature. So I don't just report about our community, I belong to it. You see, what happens here affects us all, and that's why we care so deeply about getting it right. And when local journalism is done right, it doesn't sit still, it moves. It moves you to act, to vote, to volunteer, to talk about it, to speak up, or to lend a hand. It moves your mind by challenging assumptions and offering new perspectives. It moves you forward by giving you the information to make decisions and thrive where you live. And yes, it moves your heart through the kind of human storytelling that stays with you wherever you are. And at KGW, we're here for all of it. These are the stories that move Portland.
In a wrap of our top stories this morning, overnight 2 children were found safe in Gresham after authorities say their mother took off with them even though she doesn't have custody. The Multnomah County Sheriff's Office says all 3 were found on Northeast Sacramento Street around 2:30 this morning. They say neither child appeared to be injured. The case is set to be forwarded to the District Attorney's Office. 5 teenagers are facing charges in connection with the killing of this man during a November burglary in Portland's Lentz neighborhood. Police say the teens invaded Kevin Cooper's home and shot him in front of his family. Cooper died weeks later. Each of the teens faces slightly different charges ranging from first-degree murder to assault and unlawful use of a weapon. And authorities have cited a Salem-Keizer school bus driver for making an unsafe left turn that ultimately resulted in a crash that killed another driver. This was in West Salem on Highway 22 around 10 Monday morning. State police say the bus driver attempted that left turn onto southbound Highway 51 and caused a head-on collision with an SUV. The driver of the SUV died at the scene. Around 60 high school students were on the bus for a field trip. One student and the bus driver were taken to the hospital with minor injuries.
Wow, a couple sad stories there. We have a beautiful day coming once we lose the fog, which I think will really start to thin out the fog in the coming hour through 10 a.m. 50 the high. Notice the 7-day is dry. That includes a nice weekend in the mid-50s.
Fog improving a little bit on some of our traffic cameras. Upper left-hand part of your screen, that's I-5 near Capitol Highway, Highway 26 near the Sylvan Hill. That's on the upper right, and that certainly speaks to the shallowness of that fog deck. That said, we're still just shy of 30 minutes right now to get you in on the sunset from Hillsborough.
I discovered that 2 terrain monitors did not match. They did not match at all. That is closer up and that's farther up.
So what were you doing when you were 5 years old? Well, this kid from Colorado spotted a discrepancy in Southwest Airlines training manual and got invited to tour the airline's headquarters. The airlines later said it was not technically an error, but that it was impressive that the 5-year-old looked between the 2 different gauges and noticed one was far zoomed out and the other one was not.
Kudos to him.
Wow.
That's impressive.
I'm guessing dad or mom are pilots, otherwise he wouldn't have his hands on the Southwest training manual, I'm assuming, but
Also,
don't know how that works.
Yeah.
Also,
I want to know if he asked for our unassigned seats and free bags back, though.
Ooh.
yeah, the thing that makes Southwest Southwest.
That's exactly.
It went bye-bye like last year.
That's right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So.
I discovered that the Southwest menu option that's in the seat pocket in front of you does not include a steak sandwich. I don't know if it's an error. I don't know what's going on.
I think most don't.
Should write a strongly worded letter, Rob.
That went by the wayside about the time you retired from being a flight attendant.
Yes, many a year ago.
Hey, a reminder that you can watch Sunrise every day live exclusively here on KGW Plus starting at 7 o'clock. We have also added another half hour of news at 12:30 and 5:30 right here on KGW Plus. We hope to see you then. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow.